Meet Dom and Adrian, YouTube's latest sensation. They're the Bondi Hipsters and have totes exploded on the scene since posting their first video in November last year.
We have a healthy lifestyle by the sea. We eat organic and gluten-free.
We do Bikram yoga and Pilates. We like soy lattes and goji berries.
The gluten-free loving duo are here in London for the Olympsies, as they like to call it, having pimped themselves out by using social media to look for a sponsor.
What Dom and Adrian, which is me and him, would like to do is to go over to London and represent your brand in a series of Olympic content.
We want to go places where these mainstream media people will not want to go.
It'll basically be like Roy and HG's Olympic coverage, but with two younger, better-looking dudes in skinny leg jeans.
Luckily, Google answered their call, and the boys are here in London to seek inspiration for their new fashion sports line, Athletic Car. We caught up with them at the uber hip Broadway Market in the East End to find out how they're faring in the British capital.
I think everybody here in the East Side are trying to be so cutting edge that being cutting edge is actually quite mainstream, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can see this behind us here, but this is like the biggest underground artist in the East End at the moment. He just does balloon live performances, and so he takes balloons and he rocks out with them, and as much as that would be cutting edge in Sydney, it's actually a little bit try-hard here in London.
You've got people from around the globe, artists, philosophers, all coming to the city, and it's like, yeah, sure, it's a melting pot. Yeah, sure, there are some amazing ideas here, but everyone's extraordinary here, making everyone quite, ordinary, right?
Yeah, totes.
And have they seen anything of the Olympics?
No. I mean, we're not alone in being not the only ones to not see the Olympsies, yeah?
No, I mean, who's going to the Olympics, I think I flicked on the television the other day and I saw about 4 people in a stadium. I mean, obviously London's a far cooler city than many other cities in the world, but I think people kind of share our disdain for sports and our understanding that sports in general are quite try-hard.
In order to be good at sports, Craig, you have to try hard. In order to reach the highest echelons of sports, you have to be the biggest try-hard on earth in that particular field. Now, at the end of the day, how important is it to jump a little bit further in a sandpit than I can? I could jump maybe 5.5 meters, they can jump 7. Big deal, man. Do you know what I mean? It's like pole vault. What use in life is pole vault? And there's only so much kudos I can give someone who spent their life learning and becoming an expert in something that they can't use.
Here's a wild idea. I mean, why don't you go have some tapas and have a couple of drinks and go on a night out, I mean, it's all well and good to achieve something, but the idea of that's a little bit selfish anyway, because, I mean, particularly with something like pole vault, it's just you're doing that for you, and then writing it off as trying to do something for your country.
Surely the boys must be missing Bondi.
One thing I do miss is the tall poppy syndrome. I think in Australia people are so willing to cut you down, and that's what we've become used to, which is why we never want to release anything, because we think success is actually a failure. And that's what we've really learnt from Bondi, that if you succeed, you've actually failed, and you've got a foundation from that point forward by which to fail if you succeed.
Have they taken any inspiration from London's cutting-edge fashion scene for their own label?
Is that a question from the media? Because I'm not actually that cool with answering brand questions in the media.
Okay, so Dom's got an aversion to communicating pertaining to anything that relates to our brand. Everybody in London is trying to be cutting edge. Therefore, the whole concept of cutting edge is redundant. I think, when something's too prevalent, it ceases to exist, if you know what I mean. So the cutting edge is not cutting edge at all. So in order to be cutting edge in London, I think we've got to go corporate, to be honest. That's the sense that I'm getting. Jobs are hard to come by around here, so it's actually more like underground to have a job here. You know what I mean? So we're going back to suits, short back and sides. We'll start speaking well and all that kind of stuff, because it's so norm to be all wacky around here.
I want to go back to the...
Dom's gurning.
But surely the deal with Google goes against their underground ethos.
We're cool with being stuff on Google because they're so big that they're underground. Nobody at this point in time during such a financial crisis are succeeding like Google are succeeding. And they are so uniquely successful right now. And we just like that just because they're different. Everybody else is struggling. We're in a recession globally. Our currencies are dying. Google are killing it, bro. They're nailing it. And that's really different right now. Everyone else is struggling. They're nailing it. So yeah.
What, man? Let's go out. Let's go out.
I mean, yeah, it's Saturday afternoon. Okay. Don't. Okay, Dom, please. Ow. Okay.
You know me, I'm on the 333. Circular key, then back to the sea.